What's going on, Saints fans? Before we get into today's show, I got a goal for you. I want to get to 2,000 subscribers on Saints Now. So all you got to do is go ahead and hit that big red button underneath this video. That way you never miss any videos. We are 84 short. Don't let me down. Please go ahead and subscribe. You're watching Saints Now by Chat Sports. Mitchell Renz here from Chat Sports. That's a terrible intro. But anyway, what's going to be coming up here on today's show? We're going to get into Michael Thomas injury updates. Then we're going to get into 5 wide receivers that New Orleans could potentially go out and trade for if Thomas is never going to come back this year. And then at the very end of today's show, Saints trade candidates. But let's first get into the latest going on around Thomas. And some of you might get mad at me, but the latest going on with Thomas is there's not really any new information out there. And this is very peculiar because you're seeing a lot of news updates from a lot of these other Saints players that were on the PUP list who've been activated and who can come back. The one guy that's just kind of a big old shrug emoji is, in fact, Michael Thomas. Now, he remains on the PUP list with that ankle injury. He was eligible to return to practice last week, and according to the most recent reports, he's not expected to play Week 8. Why? He hasn't practiced the entire week, so why would he come out and play? Now, there was something that happened about a week ago that said maybe and just maybe he could be ready for Week 9. But what do you guys think here? Will Thomas play this season for the New Orleans Saints? I want you to go ahead and type P for play, or I want you to go ahead and type W for you don't think he's going to go. Now, obviously, the injury history is there with all the drama that happened in the offseason, but the other reason why I'm going to go ahead and ask is because the NFL trade deadline is on November 2nd. I don't really know if he's going to be dealt or not, but his name is going to be continue to pop up. So in terms of is he going to play this year for New Orleans? Guys, honestly, I don't know. I would have bet a lot of money that he would have been ready to go for Week 1. And then I said, well, you know what? I think he's going to come back in Week 7. I continue to be wrong on when Thomas is going to be back. So until Thomas actually is like, all right, this is when I'm coming back, I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys the wrong information. Now, the reason why this is such big news, obviously, if you're a brand new Saints fan, you don't know how dominant this young man was from 2016 to 2019. Sure, he had Drew Brees, one of the most accurate quarterbacks in NFL history, which definitely played to Thomas's strengths. But Thomas is also a very talented receiver, and when fully healthy, I personally believe he's top 5. Last year, he battled an ankle injury, and reports, especially from him, said that he played through that ankle injury during Drew Brees' final season, which is why you see the numbers a little bit lower here. But ultimately, do you think if, with all this drama going on, the Saints are 4-2, I believe that they should be buyers, not sellers. Should the Saints trade Michael Thomas? Type T for trade, or please go down in the YouTube comments and type K for keep. This is a very difficult question because I know a lot of y'all like Thomas, and when he was first coming out of Ohio State, the one thing that I loved that he did was it wasn't even like an hour, 2 hours after he got drafted. He tweeted at Drew Brees, and he was like, I'm ready to get to work. All the scouts, everyone talking about him said, this guy, he balls out, and he goes out there and he competes. However, ever since he got that big deal, am I the only one that thinks he's turning into a little bit of a diva? So T for trade, K for keep. I am going to go ahead and say no, and it's 2 reasons. Michael Thomas's don't grow on trees. He's, like I said, a top 5 receiver. The other reason, you are trying to contend. You are 4-2 right now, and your biggest game of your season is about to go down in New Orleans. You're 5.5-point underdogs up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, up against the defending Super Bowl champs, up against Tom Brady. You need all your pieces there. That's why it is a little bit frustrating that he's not going to be on the field. Now, let's just say one of these other teams out there, they're like, you know what, New Orleans, Michael Thomas is giving you guys a headache a little bit. We'll take his contract off you. I believe these are the top 5 teams that could go out and potentially get a deal done with him. The Green Bay Packers, they are coming off a huge Thursday Night Football win. And Michael Thomas, Devontae Adams, that'd be a hell of a combo. Kansas City Chiefs, they're 3-4, but they're in full panic mode. Nobody can get open. Nobody can catch the ball. Chargers, Browns, and then the 49ers. I believe if Thomas is traded, and I don't really think it's going to happen, but if he is, or if Michael Thomas trade destinations start coming out, these are going to be your top 5 teams. Now, to make sure that you never miss any news or rumors around Michael Thomas, to make sure you never miss any videos here, you got to subscribe. When I started the show off, I said I want to get to 2,000. And one of the biggest reasons why we tell people to hit that sub button, we're a free channel, and the way that we work here at Chat Sports, more subs equals more videos. There's a lot of channels that we have that get daily videos, Literally every single day. Some channels get videos more than once a day. Once you guys get more subs, you will get more videos. That I can promise you. Coming up now here on today's show, I got 5 wide receivers that the Saints could go out and trade for. Let's just say you're nervous about when Thomas is going to come back, and you don't want to have Alvin Kamara get 40 touches a game. Obviously, Kamara is one of the best in the biz, and your receivers have actually thought played okay this past week. But if you want to go out and get somebody before the deadline ends, here are 5 names to keep in mind. At number 5, and these are ranked from 5 down to 1 in terms of priority, in terms of what I would, or the player I would call first, essentially. Jamison Crowder of the New York Jets. The Jets are sellers. That's no surprise. 15 catches, 119 yards, a pretty good slot receiver that I really think could help Jameis pick up some of those first downs. Now, maybe you want somebody who's a little bit bigger, a little bit taller. Tim Patrick, I think, is a sneaky name for the Denver Broncos, who are also going to be in sell mode. He's 6'4", 212 pounds, which is sort of around where Thomas's height is, though they are very different types of receivers. But when you look at New Orleans, they got a lot of smaller guys. You need somebody who can get it done in the red zone. Coming in at number 3 here is James Washington. I think Washington is more talented than Patrick and more talented than Crowder. His biggest thing is he's a tough guy, he's a good blocker, and he can really get into some contested catches. It hasn't been the best year this season, but I really think the former second-round pick out of Oklahoma State, he can also go after the deep ball, which obviously Jameis is good with too. Now here's the clear tier break. At number 2 is Allen Robinson, and some of you are like, wow, you have a receiver that's higher up on this list than Robinson? I do. I still think that Robinson has been very unlucky in terms of the quarterback play that he's had his entire career since coming out of Penn State back in 2015, 2014 at this point. But he can block. Same thing. A good possession receiver. And overall, the Saints would be very lucky to go out and get Robinson. The only issue, I believe it would cost a first-round pick, maybe a second-round pick. Now, the reason why coming in here at number 1 is Brandin Cooks. It's for 2 reasons. Houston, full sell mode. You're going to be able to get Brandin Cooks cheaper for Allen Robinson. I still think the overall talent for Robinson is better than Cooks, but the cheaper disparity is why I have Cooks higher. The other reason, Cooks got his start in New Orleans, and I really think for a player who's already been traded 3 times throughout his career and over the past 2 seasons has looked very productive, and even this year, he's got 45 grabs, 502 yards, and a touchdown with Tyrod Taylor and Davis Mills. Sure, he's a little bit smaller. Sure, he's probably, I don't know if he can be a true number 1 receiver like Robinson can, but Brandin Cooks I do think would fit very well with Sean Payton. So what do you guys think here? Should the Saints go out and trade for a receiver? Why for yes and for no? Obviously, the Thomas discussion is why I wanted to get into this. I see a lot of news. I see a lot of articles out there with this topic going on. But let me know, why for yes and for no? Should the Saints trade for a wide receiver? I say yes, if you're not confident Thomas is going to be coming back. Let's go to the next thing here. So if you're going to be trading, obviously you can trade away draft capital. However, I do think New Orleans needs to start trying to keep some of those draft picks and going forward where maybe you give away some of these other players. So the 5 names that I have, and these are not ranked in any order. The first name coming up here is a trade candidate, somebody that New Orleans could trade away to potentially get one of these receivers. Zack Baun's the popular name. They've already made some investments in the draft this past year at the linebacker position. Baun definitely got to keep in mind. Jeff Heath hasn't really been doing too much this year for New Orleans. Had a pretty good year last year with the Raiders with 3 picks, but there will be some teams that need special teams and safety help. Garrett Griffin. At this point, I'm kind of done with the tight ends. You're the 3rd best tight end here. Maybe New Orleans, instead of going out and getting a receiver, should go get a tight end. Ken Crawley, cornerback. This was a dude who actually was having a pretty good offseason. Also another player who spent some time with the Raiders and some other practice squads last year. But you're looking for extra depth, and Crawley, let's face it, he's not the future at corner. And then the last guy, Trevor Siemian. There'd be a lot of teams out there that I think could go out and be like, all right, I'll take Trevor Siemian as my 3rd quarterback, maybe my 2nd quarterback if somebody else goes down. You have Ian Book. I'd rather have Ian Book than Siemian. And realistically, Taysom Hill is battling an injury, but quarterbacks are usually the most popular position that end up getting dealt to a team that's a little bit worried about an injury. Cleveland Browns, perfect example. So be honest with me here, guys. Name a player on the Saints that you think that you would be like, you know what? I'm okay getting rid of this dude. If it makes our team better right now, we are 4-2. I believe this team can compete. That's when you start seeing some teams trade away some of their assets. So let me know down in the comments. I'll be looking a player that you would be okay trading away.